Princess Eugenie is once again at the center of royal attention, but this time it is not because of controversy or palace tension. Instead, it is her quiet but very deliberate actions behind the scenes that are now being seen as a strong sign of loyalty to King Charles, especially during a sensitive period for the royal family. At 36 years old and currently expecting her third child with her husband, Jack Brooksbank, Eugenie has made a decision that many royal watchers are calling both respectful and strategically careful. Rather than allowing major personal news to reach the public first, she reportedly ensured that King Charles was informed privately before anything was officially announced. That detail alone has sparked a wave of discussion among royal commentators, because in the modern era of instant headlines and social media announcements, timing and protocol within the royal family still carry a lot of meaning. According to reports from royal insiders, Eugenie did not simply inform the palace as a formality. Instead, she is said to have personally spoken to King Charles before the pregnancy news was shared publicly. That private communication is being viewed as a clear gesture of respect toward the monarch. One insider described her approach as very consistent with how she has always handled her position within the family. The suggestion is that Eugenie is extremely careful not to make any public move that could bypass royal channels or create unnecessary tension within the institution. This is particularly significant given the complicated position of her parents, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, both of whom have faced intense public scrutiny in recent years. Despite those challenges, Eugenie's actions appear to show a clear effort to maintain her own standing within the working structure of the monarchy while keeping a respectful distance from controversy. Sources close to the situation have suggested that this is not a one-off decision, but rather part of a consistent pattern in how Princess Eugenie operates. She is said to regularly keep the palace informed of important developments, ensuring that nothing is communicated publicly without at least giving senior members of the royal family advance notice. One royal source reportedly explained that Eugenie is very aware of the importance of internal communication within the monarchy. Rather than creating surprises or public shocks, she prefers to work within established expectations, particularly when it comes to announcements that could attract widespread media attention. The same source added that this recent pregnancy announcement followed that exact approach. Eugenie is said to have prioritized a private conversation with King Charles before any public confirmation was made, allowing the palace to prepare its own response and acknowledge the news in a coordinated way. This level of coordination is being interpreted by some royal observers as a sign of mutual respect between Eugenie and the king. It also highlights how, even within a modernizing monarchy, traditional communication channels still play an important role behind the scenes. Following the private conversation, the palace itself issued a public acknowledgement of the news, which was seen as a clear indication that Eugenie remains an accepted and valued member of the wider royal family. Importantly, she continues to retain her titles and patronages, despite the controversies that have affected other members of her immediate family. That point has not gone unnoticed by royal commentators. In fact, many have pointed out that Eugenie's position within the monarchy has remained relatively stable compared to the shifting roles of others connected to Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. Her decision to maintain close communication with King Charles is now being seen as a key factor in that stability. The wording used by insiders has also drawn attention. One source suggested that Eugenie refuses to make a move without keeping the palace fully informed, which paints a picture of someone who is highly conscious of protocol and long-term reputation within the royal family. While that phrase may sound strong, it reflects a broader understanding of how modern royals navigate their public and private responsibilities. Every announcement, every appearance, and every statement can carry wider implications, not just for the individual involved, but for the monarchy as a whole. In Eugenie's case, that awareness appears to be particularly pronounced. Her approach suggests that she is careful not only about what she shares, but also about when and how it is shared, especially when it involves deeply personal milestones like family news. The relationship between Eugenie and King Charles is also being viewed through a slightly different lens as a result of this latest development. Rather than distance or formality, there now appears to be a sense of ongoing communication and trust, at least when it comes to family updates. Royal insiders have emphasized that this is not about political strategy or public image management alone. Instead, it is being framed as a reflection of respect within the family structure, where key members still seek approval or at least acknowledgement from the monarch before major announcements are made. At the same time, this moment also comes during a period where the royal family continues to face broader public scrutiny and ongoing media attention. In that environment, even personal milestones can quickly become part of larger narratives about unity, loyalty, and internal dynamics. For Eugenie, however, the focus appears to remain on maintaining a steady and respectful position within the family, while also protecting her private life and growing family with Jack Brooksbank. The palace's response to the announcement was also carefully measured. By acknowledging the news publicly and in a timely manner, it reinforced the idea that Eugenie remains within the circle of working royals, even if her role is not as prominent as others in the family. That balance between privacy and public duty is something the royal family continues to navigate carefully, especially when it comes to younger members who are not directly involved in official state responsibilities but still carry royal titles. Observers have noted that Eugenie's actions may also reflect a broader generational approach within the monarchy, where communication with senior royals is maintained more consistently even when formal obligations are not required. In practical terms, this means that major life updates are not simply shared with the public first, but are first discussed internally, ensuring that the institution remains informed and aligned in its messaging. While this may seem like a small detail, within the royal family it carries significant weight, particularly when trust and internal cohesion are constantly under public observation. As Eugenie prepares to welcome her third child, attention is likely to remain focused not only on the happy personal news itself, but also on how she continues to position herself within the wider royal structure. For now, what stands out most is not just the announcement of a growing family, but the careful way in which it was handled behind the scenes, reinforcing her reputation as one of the more quietly consistent figures within the royal family. And in a monarchy where perception often matters as much as reality,